Welcome to Movie Nerds by Killshot, a weekly podcast dedicated to cinema, TV shows, original soundtracks, new releases, behind the scenes, and much more. Tune in every Monday, 6 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, for new episodes and even see behind the scenes of our podcast. Follow us on social media at Movie Nerds 47 on Twitter. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions you want us to answer on our next podcast. Oh, and while you're at it, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll help us out a lot. Thank you very much, and see you next week.
Alright guys, welcome to Movie Nerds episode 7. So
What's up, fam?
Yeah, what's up? Okay. So, shall we just get started? I'm gonna let you take this one.
The dumbasses are back at it again, everybody.
Yep.
And today we have a very special guest. Go ahead.
His name is will be introduced in a bit, but I do wanna go through the first two topics and then we'll actually introduce our guest. So yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Number 1. The composer of Blade Runner has passed away. And so we want to, as movie enthusiasts here, we don't take this lightly in any way, shape, or form. We are passionate, driven, loving sci-fi enthusiasts and movie lovers. We love the idea of cinema and everything that goes to it because it takes so much time and so much effort and so much ingenuity to think of new ways to create different types of camera angles or new ways to create a costume and everything else in between. But when it comes to the world of score, sound, and cinema, it is one of the most hardest things to hear that one of the greats of all time passed away. And I don't know how to say his name properly, but it's Vangelis. That's how you say his name. The man that composed Blade Runner. And I don't know the list of it, sadly, because I'm not like invested in his world as I am like John Williams or Henry Jackman per se. So I'm gonna let you take it from here.
So, this movie Blade Runner, was one of the most, one of the greatest sci-fi movies back in the old days. It was the Blade Runner 1. He did amazing score. He did the main theme of Blade Runner. He did the entire movie itself. He scored it. And we here at Movie Nerds want to say, our condolences to the family as well. And
not just that, but fucking thank you.
Yes.
That is the biggest thing, of course. That very ending right there. Above all else, thank you for your time, heart, energy, and brain power, and pure love and soul that you gave us for the movies that we love, regardless of what it is. Yep. We will always remember a man that created the score of our favorite movie. Whether if it's Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, it doesn't matter. If he's one of them, good for you. If you feel like you've connected with this man in some way, shape, or form, good for you. If you feel like you're going to cry, it is totally acceptable. So I'm not going to judge you if you're going to cry. Hell, I'm going to cry when John Williams dies. But yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. And yeah, thank you. All right, topic number 2. I think yesterday or the day before we received a trailer that we talked about in last week's episode.
Did we talk about it? I don't remember if we did or not.
From the whole list of the upcoming, this was actually mentioned. So.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So this movie is called 300 Years of Logic. And we've just seen the trailer, and it is the amazing George Miller who's actually written and directed it. So if you guys don't know who George Miller is, George Miller made the first Mad Max, and he made the last Mad Max, which is Mad Max 4. So, yeah. Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, evidently so. Killshot actually told me before the streams or the recording started that it's taken him 15 years to come back out of his shell, and now he's making a movie, which is actually pretty crazy when you think about it. To think that a director stopped for such a long time, whether if it was him taking care of his family or whatever, it doesn't matter. The fact that he's back in the cinema says something, and that he's coming back to what he loves to do. That is heart at its finest. It's like saying you love this, but you have to stop for some reason. We don't know what the reason is, FYI. So I could be completely wrong. He could have stopped for moral reasons. He could have stopped because, like I said, for family. I'm not sure. But whatever it is, we're happy that you are back in cinema and being the director we all know and love you are. So, hell yeah.
Yeah, I think Mad Max 4, his last movie, came out in 2015. So that's a huge
Really?
break. Yeah. 2015 was Mad Max.
Wait, the one
4.
with Tom Hardy?
Yeah, Mad Max 4, yep.
Oh, shit.
That was the last movie, I think, so yeah. So now he's actually back with a bang, so he's going in heavy on the actual CGI, and
that is so bizarre.
Basically something else, so yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, remember, it's not called CGI anymore. It's called VFX. Yes, there you go.
Well, we used to call it CGI back in the day, but yeah.
Yes, back in the days when we didn't give a fuck about the terminology of shit, but now we have to because we're all movie enthusiasts.
Well, I think now is a great time to introduce our guest. So, basically, let me bring this up on my phone. Today's guest is one of the highest... Sorry, let me rephrase that first. He is an Indian actor known for his work in Hindi language films. He is one of the highest paid actors of Hindi cinema and has featured in Forbes India's Celebrity 100 list since 2012. And he is the representative of several awards, including 6 Filmfare Awards. So, will you please welcome today very special guest from India, Mr. Ranbir Kapoor.
Hey guys, what's up? What's going on?
My guy, so happy you're here, man.
Hi Batman, and how are you guys doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm amazing. Yeah, I'm enjoying my life, and I'm heading towards Brahmastra and some of my new releases.
Good. So, let's start with topic number 1. Basically, we want to interview too, because we know that recently, you recently had a whatchamacallit? You recently had 2 movies coming out, right? And we want to interview to ask you some questions, and we want to say thank you for actually coming onto the show. And I want to say thank you to your agent for actually giving us permission. So thank you very much. So I want to ask you from your perspective. Like basically, we started from black and white, right?
Yeah.
And then color slowly got introduced because of a movie called Mughalism.
Exactly.
Yes. And in those time, color was very new, and it was very it was like an experiment. And if you watch Mughalism, the whole movie is shot in black and white for the first hour. Then the last hour is in color because it shows how the technology actually advanced. So you do get a teaser of the future in that movie, but at the last hour, which shows that they were okay in experimenting. Mid movie, mid shoot, to try out new cameras. So ever since then, we have had these so many ways of telling storytelling. We've had You've had the Indian version of Three Musketeers, which is Amar Akbar Anthony,
Anthony, yeah.
which was a 1997
Mm-hmm.
classical hit with
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know.
with with Amitabh Bachchan, who is one of the greatest people known to mankind for Bollywood
It's the
industry.
benchmark for us. Yeah.
Yes, and this person actually kicked off Bollywood to the level. And then we had
Yeah,
Sholay.
absolutely.
Then we
Surely.
had Sholay. That was
Mm-hmm.
that was another way of kicking off Bollywood. Sholay was,
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember correctly. Sholay was no, because Amar Akbar Anthony was definitely the Three Musketeers because it involved
Mm-hmm.
three people, right?
Yeah.
And then
Something along those
My
lines.
dad is
Yeah.
one of them. Yeah.
yes, and then I can't think what movie would actually represent Sholay. I can't think of one. But
You and me
that was
both.
a classic movie. That was one
Mm-hmm.
hell of a classic movie. And then after that, we had like new movies coming out, and then we had Dil Se, which is 1996, Chaya
Uh-huh.
Chaya, which is the rise of
Yes,
Shah
yes.
Rukh
The
Khan.
train song. Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the King of Bollywood rising up, known as Shah Rukh
Mm-hmm.
Khan,
Shah Rukh Khan.
who is the most notorious actor known in industry.
Mm-hmm.
He became Don twice. He's in most of the love stories that we see today. He's in
Mm-hmm.
hundreds of love stories,
Uh-huh.
thousands of them. And
Mm-hmm.
and then we have other people rising up, like we had Kareena Kapoor, I think, from
Sister.
Yep, yep. And then that's basically 2002 or 2000, I think. Because
Wait a
Kalki
minute. I
was
just want to
97.
ask: am I hearing
Yeah.
this right? You have a family of actors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
wow, I didn't realize that. Wow, fuck yeah.
Even
I'll tell
his
you.
dad. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you, ki, my family tree started with Prithviraj Kapoor. The whole cinema and whole this Bollywood thing came into my, first there were theaters, right? So my, this tree founder of my Kapoor Khandan, Prithviraj Kapoor sir, he had all his sons deployed into his theaters, and one of his sons were Shami Kapoor, and as you were saying, experiments, all their experiments that we see in Bollywood today, from dance and music, came through my Shami uncle. He died in 2011, and after his last movie, he made an appearance in my movie Rockstar. That I done in 2011, and
I
I
think
miss
I
him
know
a
what you're
lot.
talking about.
Yeah, Shami Kapoor. Yeah, the he was quite famous out there as the name of Elvis Presley of India. The Shami Kapoor.
Oh, he was ducked. Wow. I
Yeah.
definitely know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was, and his song "An Evening in Paris," and he was a guy, who introduced dance to his music, and he follows some typical rhythms, and given by some actors and of there, and he's a bit of a fun guy, and he believes in computers. He was the one of the first guys to have an Apple computers back then, and he was one of the members of a internet community, and he was quite into computers later on.
That's fucking awesome.
He had 16 GB of RAM in back in the 2008 and 10. He was a bit of a crazy guy, and when we talk about computers and all, he says ki when he got the computer mouse, the cigarette flew away from his hands.
Well, I don't know about you, but this man sounds like a tech genius that I've always wanted to meet.
Yeah, he is, and I'm too inspired from him. And one of the movies like Aja Prem Ki Kajab Kahani, I've tried to impersonate him many times, and he's the guy. I really look up to him. And then his brother Raj Kapoor. Raj Kapoor was the guy. He set and benchmark in Bollywood, like Avara Hu. There's a song Avara Hu, and it was quite famous. And Shami Kapoor's life, when Shami Kapoor was young into acting, he did some movies, like 2, 3 movies, 5 movies, and he also did in Mughal Azam. Mughal Azam, Prithviraj Kapoor the clan guy, the founders, was also into this Mughal Azam as in main characters, and Shami Kapoor was also there, and Shami Kapoor was quite called like Raj Kapoor and Raj Kapoor's brother, and he tries to you know copy his brother Raj Kapoor, and that was because because they were both theater actors before, and Prithvi Raj sir has some typical roles or characters for something. When Raj Kapoor left this theater group and joined into cinema, Shami Kapoor, his younger brother, started doing his roles, Raj Kapoor roles, into theaters. And later on, then one day he realized, sitting with his girlfriend, he realizes, I'm made for something else, and listening to music, and he made out some great moves out there. 60s. So, yeah.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
What a beautiful love story.
All the Kapoor members have a very beautiful love story, including me.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
No.
Okay, so basically, after Kalanaho, we kind of pushed forward to other movies like Doom, came out in 2006. Doom
Mhm.
was one of the movies that actually revolutionized Bollywood history.
Yeah.
It is one of the most revolutionized movies ever, to the
Mhm,
point
mhm.
where it really changed how cinema was actually looked from Bollywood perspective. And then basically that's that. And 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 then we had another classical movie called Band Baja Barati, which you have said in an interview
Uh,
you regrettably declined that
yeah,
offer. Can you please
yeah.
tell us why?
I never regret my movies. If my first film Savare was a flop, and I don't regret it. Before taking up a script, you know, actor is never a reason why a movie fails. There are some many factors applied when a movie fails, and I believe in that. Actor has a job to do a character, and I take many experiments. If you say like I did many flops. Like Bombay Velvet, Roy, and Besharams, but all these choices were to keep my actor alive, my personality, my character, and my thoughts right now wanted me to do this film, and I take that film, and I end this film with some great people out there, and it's quite difficult for me to detach from a film when it's the last day of the set and we have to pack up all the things and pack up all the shots. Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
Hmm.
Oh my god, this man fucking gets it. When
Yeah.
I'm doing voice acting related stuff, there's always a character that you don't want to let go of. And for me, it was
Yeah, dude,
basically every Batman character I did.
dude, yes, I can actually feel you.
Oh my god, because there's such iconic characters that you create along the way. You create a story and you want that branch to, impact somebody's life.
Uh-huh.
And then when you realize, when you somehow meet them in person, that not only did you impact them, but
Yeah.
you somehow were able to
Sometimes
give them.
sometimes I, really amazed of my spontaneity about
Oh
Ranbir
boy,
Kapoor. So, yeah.
this guy. So yeah, I mean, it's a test of time that you can do the unthinkable and do the undoable, which is super cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Like honestly, I got nothing but respect for this man because he comes from a long line of actors and he's trying to find his own way in the world. Which, bro,
yeah.
props to you, bro. Props to you, bro.
So I want to go back to ask you is if you had a dream movie, who would you cast?
Okay, it's Shami Kapoor one, and then again it's gonna be Mr. Sanjay Dutt, and again it's gonna be Shah Rukh Khan, of course, and then it's Kajol, and then it's I would say Rekha ji, and then it's a bit of a tough question for me, and I'll say Madhuri Dixit and she's my crush, forever crush. And then it's I'll say my dad.
It's quite a list you got there, buddy.
Yeah.
I haven't heard the name of Kajol for a very, very long time. That is a very, very old classic Bollywood actor. Okay.
One
So
I am not aware of.
yes. So now that
DDLJ, it's a film. DDLJ, it's a film. Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. It's called DDLJ, and Mr. Shah Rukh Khan and Kajol acted in this movie, and it's been running since 25 years in India. It still
That is
runs in.
crazy.
Yeah, it still runs out here in some theaters.
How many seasons is there?
one movie, that's
No
it.
seasons, one movie.
Oh, they're still running the movie. I
Yeah.
thought it was a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still running that movie.
That's
Mhm.
crazy.
Back in 1996, I think that she came out.
Man.
So 25
Yeah.
years ago, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Very
son,
good
what
classic.
movie do you want to see? I want to see that one movie that's been going on for 25 years. Oh, sure. Why not? Let's go see if it. Oh, yep. All right. Let's go right now. What?
Yeah. It's a great
Yeah.
feeling, yeah.
Can you fucking imagine the expression on your child's face?
So I also wanted to ask history of cinema, right? And I wanted to
Mhm.
talk about there is a history of Bollywood.
Uh-huh.
There is a history of South Indian
Mhm. Mhm.
cinema.
Uh-huh.
Could you please give us some insight of that, please?
History of Bollywood cinema, it was established quite earlier before the South industry, and Bollywood industry worked on some ways and ethics and methods. Later on they formed some business models out there. All these producers and all these actor producers, start taking up some things like they always cast their star kids, and uh, the people started this protesting against this method of Bollywood. Ki why all casting your sons and sisters and all these your family members as in actors and as in this. So why that's why this South industries and other more industries came up. But Bollywood always get successful in the way to become a classy, a glamorous film, and they always uh, matched up the expectations of the audience. And South industry was quite innovative, and they worked on some new methods, and they started uh, taking inspirations from Hollywood. And that's why many of the Bollywood movies are copied from South, you know so they are copying this Hollywood techniques, and then this Bollywood cinema start inspiring from South. So it's all connected out there. And but if you talk about me as an actor, you know many it's quite few in numbers. I've did my schooling from Lee Strasberg School of Method Acting in New York, and I've did 400 short films out there. And then I came to India, and I've auditioned in India. I've never labeled myself as a Rishi Kapoor's son. And then I've worked in some ADs. If I wanted, I'll be doing some lead actor roles out there. But I worked as an AD. I really wanted to know how it's out there in the Bollywood industry and how this Hindi film industry works. I like to call all of it Hindi film industry or Indian film industry. There's nothing like Bollywood or Tollywood right now. We really have to collaborate with directors and actors from all over the India to bring up the and match the heights of cinematography. So yeah.
Yeah. So basically, a long time ago, there
In a
was.
galaxy far, far away.
Thank you. So basically, um,
Sorry, I had to.
It's okay. There were people talking about how Bollywood
I'm such a
actually
nerd.
actually actually rejected some South Indian, like
Uh,
directors and stuff like
yeah.
that. And how do you feel
Mhm.
about that?
Like I said, at that time, it was quite narration, and it was quite now, it's refreshing again after the death of a famous actor, Sushant Rajput, a dear friend of mine, and but all this Bollywood industry looks so glamorous, and people want to always try to get some gossips and leaks and this about actors and stars. We all have a image of ourselves, and we have to keep it alive as an actor and or as in star. We as in persons are quite different.
God, there's so much
Yeah.
truth in that. There's so much
Yeah.
truth in that. Fuck.
Yeah.
This man gets it. He gets it, people. Okay? I want you to realize something. This is a man born from the pure firing flames of death.
Oh yeah.
And he's
Oh.
walking through hell and he's just rubbing his shoulders off. Like he's just shrugging it off like nothing.
Crazy. Yeah.
So basically,
Yeah.
before we
Mhm.
talk about your actual life, I do want to ask you is basically right now, back in
Uh-huh.
the old days, South Indian was actually rejected by other people,
Which is
but like
nonsense.
but like
Uh-huh.
now South
Mhm.
Indian is
Mhm.
actually going higher, and
Uh-huh.
then Bollywood is kind of going a bit lower, and that's
Uh,
because
hmm.
we have successful films like KGF, which
Mhm.
me and Dark Knight are actually watching. We actually started
Mhm.
watching it
Mhm.
like last week, and we actually enjoyed it so much. Um,
Mhm.
basically, we have movies like those actually coming out and actually
Mhm.
outperforming the Bollywood box office.
Uh-huh.
And do you feel worried
Mhm.
for the Bollywood industry? Are you actually accepting this kind of competition?
No, exactly. I'll say ki as an Bollywood actor, it was quite a struggle and hard work and all these efforts made during this pandemic to release all these movies into the big screens. But Bollywood is always famous for releasing its movies in big screens, and I was never a big fan of this OTT platforms, and I never did that. And I always wanted to continue the legacy of Kapoor family, to release all these films in the big screen. And the movies you talk about, like Pushpa, KGF, and all, they've all of them, movies were released through OTT platforms. And after this pandemic came over, you know, most of actors and producers sitting were at home, and we did nothing. I've also got some I was a bit caught by COVID and became positive, right? And it's just that. But as we all know, it's all now over, and slowly and slowly all these actors are getting up. We are all on the sets, and Pathan is coming out, Shah Rukh Khan's Pathan, and my Brahmastra, obviously it's gonna rock. My last movie, Sanju, did across 500 crores of the budget at the box office.
Yeah, can you please tell us
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
about the actual lengths and the actual behind the scenes energy you have to go through to doing Sanju? Because you're
Mm-hmm.
technically doing a biopic that is way older than you. A person who's way older than you, and
And
you
he is
are
alive, and he is
yes,
alive.
yes,
It's the
yes,
fact.
yes,
Yeah.
and you are technically being the old man,
Mm-hmm.
as you are a very
Mm-hmm.
young man itself. So
Mm-hmm.
how how did that work?
Uh-huh. As an actor, I'll talk about Mr. Sanjay Dutt because I portrayed him, in this, Hirani sir's film, and Sanju was a kid like Mr. Sanjay Dutt. He got into a beautiful family of Mr. Sunil Dutt and Miss Nargis. She was the first lady of India who received Padma Shri, and she did some great movies out there. His father was, a great director, a great producer, and whatnot. He also contributed a lot to the people who are in need. While riots are going on in India, he helped a lot of people for shelter, food, and stuff like that. He was kind of devoted guy to the people, and he was the true entertainer of the India. So Sanju, as a rich kid, a rich brat, you can say, uh, when he was 11, he was caught smoking a cigarette in the lawn. And all those businessmen and all those big movie makers were having a conversation in the window. From the window, they throw these cigarettes away. So Sanju collected all those cigarettes and smoked out that little left puffs of the cigarette in the lawn. And his dad caught smoking him. And his dad got scolding into him, why did this Sanju? And they all transferred Mr. Sanjay Dutt into a boarding school, into a hostel, where you live with other batchmates. Then there's no family, you live with the discipline and all. After having disciplined life and all these, he came back to India, and he studied a lot. Then later on, there was a time when Sanju got addicted to drugs because of his friends. So he was not that addicted to drugs, but he started doing drugs. And then his dad scolded him a lot that day on the set. It was the shooting for his first movie, and his dad was quite serious with the career of this boy. So his dad scolded him that many of these actors don't get the chance to act in movies actually, and you, being a part of this lucky family, you are making a movie. You can smoking up a cigarette or something. He caught him smoking the flavor of cigarette from his hands were just made him scared of his dad. But his dad got to know, and this all happened. Later on that day, he got a bit depressed, and the other day, some weeks, his mother got some cancer, and they flew to New York for that. Mom and dad were no home, and Mr. Sanjay Dutt was right there. He was quite depressed, and he started doing drugs as his mom was getting serious, and he had to finish his work. His mom's last wish was to watch Sanju's first movie, Rocky, into the theaters. So Mr. Sunil Dutt and Mr. Sanjay Dutt had made a space clear, like a chair clear for Mrs. Nargis Dutt at the premiere of Rocky. Later on, he realized he can't be doing the drugs all the time. His dad taken him to, uh, what we say, I'm quite emotional right now.
No, take your time, man. Take your time.
With this Mr. Sanjay Dutt's life, he was taken to rehab. At rehab, there was a paper that a doctor given him, the Sanju, what all drugs you have done in life. His dad was quite shocked. He took all of the drugs that were listed on the paper. All of the drugs that Sanju did.
Do you know
And
the list of drugs that he did?
after spending a lot of time at, this rehab, he tried to run away from the rehab center. So he traveled, the rich kid Sanju, the privileged Sanju, now is whole empty-handed, and he have a long way to travel from New York to America, where his friend lives. His best friends, Kamli, which in my film is doing Vicky Kaushal, the Wonder Boy. So
That's a lot. That's a lot to bear.
Mr. Sanjay Dutt quite was, you can say, after spending some 4 5 days on streets and all, he became like a beggar. When his clothes were clean, he got all this, food and all from people. But as soon as his clothes got dirtier and nasty, he became like a beggar, and he was collecting some money to for a bus to America. So his friend then he came off to his friend's place, and his friend already invited Mr. Sunil Dutt. So he was quite there, and seeing Sunil Dutt and Sanju broke. He cried a lot that day. After his mom's death, he never cried actually, and he was quite into the
Can't blame the
drugs.
guy.
All these days, he was not into the drugs, so he you know realized that, and he made up a drink with his dad, and his dad played up a cassette of recording of Miss Nargis Dutt at hospital, and he was quite uh, you know um, a lot sad then. Then he walked away from that room, and his friend gave him some money, and the song Kar Har Maidan Fateh played in the background, and that shows how Sanju got motivated, and he decided to to throw all the drugs off from his life, and he realized the greatest drug of life, it's the life itself. There's no big high than life. There's no big high than life. He then, from that, each day he came back to India, and he was the epitome of bodybuilding in India. He was one of the first actors who had a great body. From
That's
then
what she
all,
said.
now we see now all these actors getting some six packs and all. It all started by Mr. Sanjay Dutt, that guy. He was blind into drugs. The people were saying ki, if you touch him on the sets, he'll fall.
That's
So
bizarre.
later on that day, he came into some new hits like Munna Bhai MBBS and Vastav, and he's alive right now, and he few years back he was he got cancer, you know but later on that year he got fixed, and his body is quite amazing, like after doing all these drugs and surviving cancer, and then now shooting for KGF and movies like that.
Yeah. He also got arrested
uh
as well.
Actually, cannot hear you.
Did he get arrested as well?
Wait, I think there's a glitch right now. I can hear you guys.
Oh, can you hear us now?
Hello.
Can I connect it again, like?
Yeah. Yeah.
This man is
So,
awesome.
Hi.
hi.
Hello there.
Oh, yeah, I'm not getting your voice.
Okay.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Hi.
can you hear us?
Yeah. It's all right
Oh,
now.
God. Okay. Can you tell us how did Sanju get arrested?
How Sanjay Dutt, gets arrested? I was quite emotional driven before, so I lost this, a bad image of Mr. Sanjay Dutt. It's actually fun, yeah. I'm experiencing it right now, and he got into so much of ups and downs in his life. Uh, if there is any audience from India, I want to say a dialogue right now
Yeah, sure.
from my film Sanju, and
Sure.
it's like I'm in and as Sanjay Dutt. So yeah.
Sure. We will also put subtitles at the bottom. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
I'll help you with.
Yeah, no worries.
गुड इवनिंग लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन. आज मेरे लिए बड़ी खुशी का दिन है, क्योंकि मेरी ऑटोबायोग्राफी, मेरी आत्मकथा आप लोगों के सामने आ रही है. मैं बेवड़ा हूँ, ठरकी हूँ, ड्रग एडिक्ट हूँ, सब हूँ, लेकिन टेररिस्ट नहीं हूँ. मैंने पहली बार ड्रग्स लिए क्योंकि मैं डैड से नाराज था. दूसरी बार क्योंकि माँ बीमार थी. तीसरी बार तक मैं ड्रग एडिक्ट बन चुका था, क्योंकि अपना अक्खा लाइफ फुल सांप सीढ़ी का बोर्ड है, कभी अप तो कभी डाउन. 22 का था, इतना ड्रग्स किया कि लंग्स ने जवाब दे दिया. डॉक्टर बोला इसका चैप्टर क्लोज्ड. लेकिन हुआ क्या? उल्टा ऐसा बॉडी बनाया कि लोग मोहम्मद अली से कंपेयर करने लगे। चार्टर प्लेन्स में भी घूमा हूं और एक बस टिकट के लिए सड़कों पे भीख भी मांगी है। न्यूयॉर्क के उन होटलों में रहा हूं जाके खिड़की से पूरा शहर दिखता था, और उस जेल में भी जहां एक खिड़की नहीं थी। कब दिन होता था कब रात, नो आइडिया। पुलिस वालों ने झापड़ मारा, अंडरवर्ल्ड ने सुपारी निकाला, घड़ियां भी पहनी, हथकड़ियां भी। 308 गर्लफ्रेंड्स थी और एक AK-56 राइफल। कहाँ मिलेगा ऐसा वैरायटी वाला लाइफ? तो भाइयों और बहनों, कुर्सी की पेटी बांध लीजिए, मौसम बिगड़ने वाला है। Yeah, that's it.
That was pretty fire.
It was quite all my life, not my life. Actually, Mr. Sanjay Dutt's life. He had a huge collection of girlfriends and what not, and like you said, how he got arrested. Back into the day, there were being a lot of underworld thing, and Mr. Sanjay Dutt accepts that he had a friendship with underworld, but it was before all these attacks went. He obviously had some contacts. When you sit with powerful people and you have some top level managements and all these things, you know so later on, these all connections were lost, and Mr. Sanjay Dutt, a Tada case has been applied into his life. He was not a Tada, he kept AK-57, a rifle into his car because his dad was serving a lot to people that time, you know.
Yeah.
His dad was doing all these good things to people, so he was getting threat calls, his sister, and his all this stuff. So his dad never kept a security guard, so a scared son, you know uh, somebody gave him a lead ki your dad is doing so much in all these two people. Why he's helping to this Muslim people or Hindu people? you know uh, his actually Sunil Dutt's life is quite crazy. Sunil Dutt's wife, Miss Nergis,
Yeah.
whatnot. She was from a Muslim family, and Mr. Sunil Dutt, he came from a Hindu family. So uh, at that time they were having riots and all these battles between Hindu and Muslims. So uh, you know, but and Nergis' father, he was a Muslim leader and one of these things, and when he got to know there's a Hindu boy, they called him alone at a very alone place, like a lakeside view or something, very alone place where nobody comes. And there, right there was Mr. Sunil Dutt, who has no fear in his eyes, and there were around 50 to 60 people, 50 to 60 Muslims people, and you can imagine what's the scene is. So he came closer and he said, "Don't you like scared of me?" Mr. Sunil Dutt replied, "Ki I'm marrying your daughter. Why should I fear from you or fear from anybody or fear from your religion or fear from my religion? Love has no boundaries and I love her so much. I want to
Amen.
ask you, yeah, I want to ask your daughter's hand and wanna really get married, and I really love her and I'm ready to take care of her." you know then the guy who came off with swords and guns, he give a great warm hug to Sunil Dutt, and later on they all get married. So after Mrs. Nergis's death, his dad only purpose was to serve all these Muslim peoples and all these Hindu peoples equally, who was in need or who got injured, or whose families got ruined. So these riots of Hindu and Muslims, he helped both of the sides. So he was getting threatened a lot. So as a son, when he got an opportunity to keep a gun, not a licensed one, and their friend, one of his Bollywood's insider. He was a producer of the film, and he gave Sanju a gun, AK-57, and some bullets quite there. Which were parked into this Mr. Sanjay Dutt's lawn, and it was kept out there in the back side of the car. So because of that, he was arrested, and Tada applied to him because all those unlicensed weapons they were kept during that time of incidents happened at that time in Mumbai. So he got arrested. Later on, he became, he was called quite terrorist by the society and terrorist by this all nation. But when he came out of the jail, and he was found not guilty, he came back into the industry, and then the movies he did made a huge impact into this whole generation. He was quite an inspiration for the youth, inspiration for all of us. And a guy 6 feet tall and this body, and his body language was amazing, like the way he walked, and the way he he's quite one of the great humans that we have right now today. So yeah.
Yeah. Now I
High
would like
praise
to.
for a man that almost got fucked by the legal
Yeah.
system.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, he is. I actually want to say that, but so yeah.
Yeah. Basically, I want to ask you,
Uh-huh.
do you have any dreams of doing a South Indie movie?
Actually, I'm into a project that has been offered by SS Rajamouli to me, and
Oh.
he's quite helping us with Brahmastra too. So we also have Nagarjun, a South Indian actor. He's a great guy, and he's quite famous out there in the world. So he's also working with us in Brahmastra. So yeah, we've
Yeah.
had a collaborative journey in the future.
Cool. I mean, Brahmastra is actually a 3-part trilogy, and you just
Uh huh.
wrapped part 1. So there's a lot of work for
Yeah,
you.
lot of a lot,
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of work for you. So basically, I wanted to ask you, there is a movie
Hmm.
that Amazon have done.
Uh-huh.
It's
Hmm.
an Amazon original,
Uh-huh.
and basically your father was actually in the
Hmm.
movie, and
Hmm.
right now, because your father unfortunately is not really with
Hmm.
us,
Hmm. Hmm.
how did they
Rest in
get?
peace.
Yep.
Hmm.
How did they get his actual acting, his energy
Hmm.
into the
Hmm.
movie?
Uh, my father, Rishiji, for all of you, he's still with us. His songs, his movies are all still with us, and I am very, very, very inspired, and I've got some really great energy from my father, and his what do I say? His love to his work, and he's quite, as an actor, sometimes he gets a little bit of nervous, and a tendency of him, as he grew old, that whether he'll be able to work on those movies again, while he was in the hospital. And and being so famous, being so a great legend to this Bollywood, we all know that he can work all the time, or he can work in any movie. But as an actor, he always had those insecurities in his brain and in his heart, and it is a thing that is very important as an actor to have while doing any movie.
Integrity.
Yes. And talking about Shamaji Namkeen, it was his last project that unfortunately wasn't being shot completely. But then we tried some many things. Yeah, you know, people said ki like I did in Sanju some prosthetics and makeup thing, and we can get this character right. But Mr. Paresh Rawal walked in. He's the legend that we all know, and for
The
the
man, the
first
myth, the legend.
for the first time in film industry, you know, a character has been played by two actors. You know, so it worked that way, and it's not like that. Ki, first half is shot by my dad, and then other one is doing done by Paresh Rawal. But it was a mixture of both of them, and in the middle of the movie, you will forget that these two actors are different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the last project of my dad, and he was also quite inspired and excited to get this movie right. And yeah, so it was released by Amazon Originals.
Now I want to ask you
Uh-huh.
about you now. So, how
Uh-huh.
did Mr.
Hmm.
Ranbir Kapoor get into
Uh-huh.
movies?
How does Ranbir Kapoor get into the movie? First of all, I want to talk about myself as a kid. When I was in school, I played football. You know,
Oh, you were
so
athletic. Oh,
so my dream was to become a football player. I was quite good. Later now in life, I own the only football club of India, which is great, and which is the Mumbai City FC. And I've clicked some pictures with obviously my favorite Lionel Messi, and and I've met all these Barca players, and I love how Barcelona plays, and so later on, I got younger, and I was the first guy from a family who passed the school very smoothly. There was never a guy in the Kapoor Khandan yet to pass in all the exams, but I was the guy. I got 54%, and my family thrown a party to me. And I
well,
was quite
that's a
amazed.
big deal. Of course they would throw a party for you. That's a
I
big
was
fucking deal.
I was quite amazed, why these people are so happy. And my mom was crying, you're the first guy in our family, and this and that. So later on, I've got into the idea of filmmaking कि इसमें कुछ करना नहीं पड़ता है. ये talking Hindi right now. So you have to do nothing. If you have to do nothing, you can just go into film industry. That was the thing all the people kind of say to me. But as a Kapoor family guy, we have a family which is quite driven with the idea of our Patreons. So we say acting is in our blood. you know we don't get into the way that we have the power to run a film industry, we have a power to generate some actors, but we have the power in our blood as an actor. And I've quite proved it wrong to people that called me a product of nepotism. It's a word
It's
in
not. It's not
Bollywood
just you
quite
have the
famous.
power to do films.
Mhm.
It's the power
Uh,
of. I want to make sure a lot of people understand this. It's the
Uh-huh.
power to give life to
Give life.
something,
Yeah.
to not just to a character, but to
Uh,
change people's hearts and
yeah.
move them.
You know what
What
I
cinema is
say?
all about.
What I say in acting, you just have to, present a good soul to a screen. That's it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So, when you did your first movie, Rockstar, right? So, when you did your
What?
first movie, I said when you did your first movie, Rockstar.
It was no.
No.
My first movie was a Savaria in 2007,
Okay.
and then I worked
Never
into
saw it.
Bachna Hasino 2008, and then again for the Savaria I've got this award for the best male debut. But
Okay.
the film didn't went well. It was called flop at that time because at the same time the movie was releasing Om Shanti Om, starring Shah
Ah,
Rukh Khan
the king
and
of Bollywood. Yeah.
Deepika Padukone. Then other film I've did with Deepika Padukone and other two actresses. From there, my Playboy image started, crawling up all around, and I've dated all of my co-actors. So it was quite a discussion at that time, and till then. People were calling me Playboy, but now I'm married. What I call all these reporters and paparazzis is Pateli reporter. So it's a word. So,
So, so you've done so many movies, and
yeah. Uh-huh. Hmm.
what is your favorite movie you've ever done?
What's my favorite movie that I've ever done?
That is a very hard question to answer as an actor. Just so you know, people, that is
Yeah,
an extremely hard
it
question
is.
to answer.
Yeah, it is. But I'll say I'm quite in love with what I did in Wake Up Sid and the way it is. I quite relate a bit too much with this movie, and it's a thing. Wake Up Sid. There I
Okay,
did with Ayan, the same director with whom I'm working with in Brahmastra.
okay. So,
Yeah,
what is your top 5 movies that
top five
Oh
you did
boy.
movies.
of yours?
Okay, okay. It's Rockstar. It's
Okay, is that number 1 or is that actually number 5?
oh, I have to prioritize them.
Mm.
Okay,
He's trying to
okay,
take a stick and poke it at you, my guy.
okay. First one I'll go with the film Wake Up Sid.
Okay,
Then second I'll go with Rockstar,
okay.
and the third one is gotta be it's tough. Yeah. Um. Oof. It's da da da. it's oh oh my god. It's
Okay, okay, just do top 3 then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Top three is great. Yeah, top three is great. Yeah. Yeah. Top
Figure it out. Da, da, da. I don't know the words. Oh wait, no, the song didn't have words. Never mind. Take it back. You're gonna act like totally didn't
Yeah.
have it.
Top
Okay,
five was
so
quite a trip, yeah.
okay,
My
top
top
3.
three movies are, first one I'll say Wake Up Sid, and then I'll say Ye Jawani Hai
Rockstar.
Diwani, then I'll say Rockstar. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. So after that, what are the top 5 movies you actually recommend other
To
people to
people.
actually watch?
Okay.
Not
So,
not yours,
not.
not yours,
Mm-hmm.
someone else's.
Okay. Someone else's. I'll say first one is the from acting perspective or like as common grounds. So I'll say some Bollywood movies out there. Okay. So I just really want to promote this Bollywood thing to you. So I'll say some top
Do
five
whatever. We
Bollywood.
don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, top five Bollywood movies. First one I'll say you just have to watch this Dil Chahta Hai, and then another one is Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, a film of mine. I'll really recommend that, and it's quite famous out there in the youth. And then the third one is Udan. Okay, it's a
Okay.
great film, and it's quite bit of a underrated film, and then again um three, and then fourth one is gotta be Swadesh by Shah Rukh Khan.
Okay.
And Swadesh is quite a movie which is bit related to NASA scientists, all these Indian people who go to USA and all these places to work, and then they leave their poor mother behind. It was a scene at that time. So yeah, it's the fourth, and at the fifth one, I'll say Three Idiots by Amir Khan and
Yeah.
Rajkumar Hirani. It's a
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, can you tell us about your life right now? As
about my
in,
life right now. Hmm.
yes, because we do have a question from the audience that we have like one question from the audience, and this actually comes into the life question. Can you tell us about? Can
Yeah,
you tell us about your actual marriage life?
my actual marriage, from all these years, people were quite, eager of my, this marriage thing. Or I'm hopping into this girlfriend, now I'm dating this girlfriend, and I'm now dating this celebrity, or I'm now dating this co-actor. All these questions were going on through my life, and I've always replied to them, ki falling in love takes time, yeah.
Yeah, basically.
When we really realized that we are into love, and we actually decided to marry a long time before, like in 2017 or something. But after my dad's death, I'm quite having a rough patch in my life. So all these marriage and stuff went on. So
Yeah.
right now I'm married to Alia Bhatt, and it's getting great out here. And my girlfriend Alia, my wife Alia, my friend Alia is quite overachiever in life, and I truly admire.
Okay. Do you have any
Uh-huh.
plans for the future?
My plans for the future: I'll have some cute babies out there, and
Hopefully.
hopefully what? I'm
My guy, you're a
definitely
really
gonna
good
get.
looking man, okay? I'm pretty sure they're gonna be gorgeous, all right?
Yeah, and I'm heading towards some great projects out there. And all these years I've been doing this chocolate boy thing and that, and now I'm quite awakened up, and I know how to do, and what to do to make myself at the place I always wanted to be. So my journey as an actor has been really started as it followed another dimension. After all these things happened to me in my life. So
Okay. Um,
It's
can you
both a
tell us?
blessing and a curse.
yeah.
Can you tell us
uh
why isn't Ranbir Kapoor on social media?
Why I'm not on social media? A great question asked by a lot of people many times to me, and my same answer. I'm a guy who believe in mysteries. The actors before, the vintage actors, they don't have Instagram and all these things. Now which actor is having which food at which restaurant. I don't want that. I want a mystery to remain behind my work. And when people watch me, they watch me at my movies. That's why at the end of every speech of mine, or any award receiving ceremony or something, I say I'll see you at movies. That's the only thing I want you to remember by me. I have my own personal life and I live like that, but I want you all to see at movies. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I
hmm
want to say thank you very much for coming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
fuck
been
yeah. Thank you for being on
glad
the podcast, bro. Taking time
I'm
out of your
glad. Yeah.
day to, be with the fans,
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Killshot.
yeah. If you want
Hmm.
to say anything to the fans, you can do.
Uh, to fans, I'll say a Hindi dialogue.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
कहीं पहुंचने के लिए कहीं से निकलना बहुत जरूरी होता है. सही वक्त पे खट लेना चाहिए, नहीं तो गिले शिकवे होने लगते हैं. So yeah.
All right. Thank you
Yeah.
to Ranveer and his
Uh-huh.
actual agents
Mm-hmm.
for organizing this interview. Thank you to the
Yeah.
Bollywood industry. I wish you all the best in your two movies, and I wish
Mm-hmm.
your best in the future movies as well.
Yeah.
And my favorite movie is A Dil Hai Mushkil. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And yeah, Dark Knight, go ahead.
Oh, you said it all, bro.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Everybody, it's me, Killshot, and with the True Dark Knight and Ranbir Kapoor. So thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next week, next Monday, for
And
another
I'll see you
podcast.
at movies.
Yay!
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.